Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about Unit 3. You guys have done a great job on Unit 2. The discussion about management versus leadership, I think, is very interesting, and it's detailed. And as I said last week in my video, there are probably tens of thousands of books written on leadership and what it really means. But we're going to wrap up that discussion today, and we're going to move into economics. We are going to do a 35,000-foot view of economics. We are not going to get into the details because it is a science all of itself, and people study for decades to become an expert in economics. But we're going to give us enough information that we can move forward and understand what economics is all about. So we're going to talk about the basic concept of an economic environment's impact and the relationship to an organization. We're going to talk about supply and demand, and we're going to talk about the influence of fluctuating interest rates on organizations and the economy. And if you're keeping up with the news right now, you see interest rates are pretty decent, especially for new home buyers. I've financed my house in January, and the rates are even lower than what I got in January, and I was told by the attorney that I had a really good rate. So it impacts the way we do things. Our activities, of course, always read and view the readings and resources, actively participate in the unit discussions. You have a quiz at the end of the week, and we'll talk a little later about Unit 4, but let's get through Unit 3 first. So in our discussion forum, first question you're going to talk about how an economic environment can affect an organization and discuss how fluctuating interest rates can impact it. That was one of our objectives. Use real-world examples to illustrate this. If you were affected by the recession or a downsizing or something like that, I want you to talk about it if you feel comfortable. This question says recent recession. However, over the last 12 months, the economy's been doing really well. So you may want to talk about that because you might want to talk about how your savings has grown, if you have that, or how you were able to purchase something at a very low interest rate. So you can share that. The second question: what are the benefits and implications of supply and demand? And talk about how supply and demand has affected you recently and what happened knowing what you know now. So here's an example of supply and demand. You're planning a trip to go to a place to visit family. And this is not a vacation resort that you're going to. However, they do have an event once a year, and all of the hotels are booked out. And normally you can get a hotel room for about $95 or so at a Hampton Inn, in that range, $95, $105, because it's not a hot vacation spot. Well, when you call the Hampton Inn, or you look online at Expedia or whatever, you find that the rooms are now $250 because of supply and demand. So that's what happens. Supply, demand. As price goes up, demand decreases. As demand goes up, prices can increase. So let's look at that this week and talk about it. You have a quiz, Units 1 through 3. It's 10 multiple choice questions. It's due by next Sunday. It's for the topics we've already covered in Units 1 through 3. I anticipate that you'll do very well on this quiz. So don't stress about it. I think you're going to do very well. I wanted to talk with you guys about Grammarly. Make sure you have Grammarly loaded on your computer. I'm going to upload a second video in this announcement that shows you screenshots of me going through to download Grammarly. If you have trouble downloading it, please talk to the people at the library or to the IT help desk, and they can assist you in getting Grammarly. But I wanted to show you an example. This I did in our message board. And you could see I typed 3 sentences, and I did them deliberately with misspellings and bad punctuation. But I can only show you one pop-up with my correction. So I said, yesterday I went to the store to look for a new pair of shoes. It was a waste of time. Did you do anything interesting? Simple paragraph. So you can see I ran my mouse over the word pair. P-A-R-E is a word, and it means like a paring knife, like to cut or shave the skin off of something. The word I really want is pair. Of course, we know P-A-I-R. So it pointed that out for me. It was a waste. W-A-I-S-T is part of your body, not W-A-S-T. That's a common mistake I see people make. It's strange. Did you do anything interesting? What's missing there? Question mark. A question mark is interesting. Oh, that was little fat Foxy shaking himself. Okay. So other business. Unit 4 assignments coming up next week. I'm going to give you feedback on Unit 2 by Wednesday. Make sure you review the instructions and rubric. Start looking at it now. Always ask any questions if you need clarification or more information. And if you're not getting the clarification you need in the Ask the Instructor, please call me. Call me and I can clarify and we can have a conversation about it, or text me. That'll work. I want you guys to have a great week. You have been awesome. I love your discussions. I love how y'all are interacting with each other. You guys have been great. I hope it's not as hot there as it is here. The heat index yesterday here was 117 degrees. So I hope it's not as hot there. I hope you're having a wonderful week and that everything is good for you. And I will be talking with you guys on the message board. Have a great week.